Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a feisty couple in love that loves reacting to some Fallout.
Yeah, he's a feisty. I was like, ooh.
Friday Night Friday?
Is he becoming is this Friday Night Friday?
I know, yeah.
Threw me off there for a minute.
I threw you off there for a little bit. So this is Fallout Season 3, Episode 3 and 4 for the Storyteller series. So An Unexpected Journey and To Helen Back.
Ooh.
It's a great title.
Yeah. Also, this is Foxy. We didn't
Yep.
introduce Foxy, but this is Foxy for all those who have not met her yet.
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
She's a very good girl. She's a foster that we ended up adopting.
Mm-hmm.
As if that was going to be any doubt. So, if you want all of our Fallout reactions, check out the description of this video because we got playlists there for you, as well as a link to our Patreon. Get early ad-free access. We're about a week ahead in our Fallout reactions there. We also, because it's Fallout.
Have a drink.
Yeah.
The Stim Pack Spritzer.
Mm-hmm.
So you add your Stim Pack, do a little stir, and then you can take a drink.
Cheers.
Cheers.
When the Vault Dweller walked out of this cave, it was the first time their eyes had seen natural light. They'd never even met anyone who'd set foot outside the vault. All they knew was that somewhere to the east was another vault, that there might be a functioning water chip there. Between here and Vault 15 was a little town called Shady Sands. It was probably the Vault Dweller's first contact with anyone from the outside. And it was where they met their first true friend, Ian. Before he ended up in Shady Sands, Ian worked as a guard for the Crimson Caravan. In those days, there was no NCR around here to keep the law. No law at all once you were outside of town. Every man just lived by his own creed. Ian believed in an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. He always paid his debts. He never shot a man in the back on purpose. But others in the wasteland lived by a different code, a more predatory view of human interaction. They became raiders and preyed on the trading caravans. In these parts, the worst of them were the jackals, the vipers, and the cons. Although he was very enthusiastic about the job, his career as a guard came to an abrupt end due to a gunshot injury. Ian was spared the usual fate of a wounded man left alone in the wasteland. The good folk of Shady Sands found him and treated his wounds. He stayed on with them to repay the debt. He protected the town from raiders and the occasional rad scorpion. When the Vault Dweller passed through Shady Sands a couple of years later, Ian joined their search for a water chip. Not because he sensed it was destiny, or that the fate of the whole wasteland was at stake. He just wanted to earn a few caps. But Ian stuck with the Vault Dweller through many events that seemed too dangerous for the money. The two were more than just a mercenary and his employer. They had become friends, which made the events of Necropolis all the more tragic. The Vault Dweller's own memoirs say that Ian died in Necropolis, sacrificed himself so that his companions could survive the fight against the super mutants.
He was torched?
Although witness accounts of that event do conflict somewhat. But I like to think that Ian died valiantly, carried his weight on the team, despite his troubles with marksmanship. Yup, we best be moving on. Folk around here aren't friendly to anyone in power armor. Probably shouldn't have come this deep into NCR territory, but I couldn't resist the chance to grab an authentic Vault 13 canteen.
Uh-oh. Got new statues. Rangers?
Move. You're illegally prospecting on restricted NCR property. Stay on the ground and keep your hands visible.
I was not scavenging. Okay, maybe I was scavenging. There are 40 of these in a big box.
So you're a liar and a thief. You want to know what we do to thieves in these parts?
Well, in the back when times, thieving could have been met with a variety of punishments. Thieves have always existed in all cultures. The consequences for stealing are often severe. Generally, stealing is considered immoral. Morality is an explanation of how the world ought to be, and comes from the Latin word moralis, which refers to rules or laws for what is right or wrong.
Wait, what?
There are, however, rational explanations for why people steal. Perhaps the establishment, the government, or the justice system is weak, or the social order is in chaos due to war or catastrophe. I submit to you, gentlemen, Exhibit A, the wasteland and the apocalypse that caused it. Such situations change our general perception of right and wrong, leading to the abandonment of law and order.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'm about 1 second away from putting a bullet through that pretty power armor of yours.
Stand down. He has that weird eyebot with him, and he's wearing that weird power armor. I think this is the guy that Ranger Tanner's looking for.
Didn't know I was famous. Of course, you Rangers make it your business to know who's who in the wasteland.
You, shut up.
I think you might be right. You're coming with us.
Well, it
Kidnapping the
doesn't look
storyteller?
like I have much of a choice. Come on, Edna. We'll be fine. The NCR doesn't allow the torture of prisoners. So they say anyway. The NCR calls you boys Rangers, but did you know you aren't the first ones to use that title? Rangers were an old world idea, but that is a story for...
Shut up!
Nice.
Yes.
Another tragic ending for a Fallout character. At least he died heroically instead of like the Ed or whatever that just left the vault and just died by rats because he couldn't get back in the vault.
Yeah, I mean, getting torched, eaten alive by rats, they both pretty much suck.
Yeah.
I did love so much the ending of this and how he goes into, and that is a story for another day. And then the guy shouts out, "Shut up." Just because I loved taking what we all know to be the narrator's voice, the storyteller, closing the chapter and actually putting it into some real world context in the world of Fallout.
I love that they're building a story within this, like not just like going over the lore, but also now there's they're telling a story. And they've done it before, kind of like with the Nuka-Cola thing. They did a little bit there, but now I don't know. This one feels like it's the start of something else, and it's gonna be a little bit more. And like, I mean, the storyteller has a reputation. People are looking for him in the NCR. So I'm curious to see where it will go. Obviously we're gonna keep getting our lore stories from the storyteller, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So on to episode 4, To Hell and Back.
And the Ranger Unification Treaty allowed the Desert Rangers and you NCR Rangers to play nice with each other. If you ever visit New Vegas, you can see the monument to the treaty in the Mojave Outpost on Interstate 15.
This guy is literally incapable of shutting his mouth.
It's like he doesn't even care that we're barely listening to him. Who is he talking to?
But the Desert Rangers played a role in the NCR's beginnings, back when the city was still called Shady Sands.
Oh, when can I shoot this guy?
Wait, Tanner wants to speak to him first.
You see, the Vault Dweller traveled with a fellow named Tycho, who was a Desert Ranger who headed west. Met the Vault Dweller in Junktown, about the same time that they adopted that little dog. By the time the Vault Dweller ended up in the Boneyard, they'd amassed quite the little gang of misfits.
Dog meat.
I don't care what Tanner says. I'm getting the mini nuke.
Aw, don't go. I haven't told you about Katya yet.
Going somewhere, Ranger?
Sorry, ma'am. Just, interrogating the prisoner.
That's my job.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You can both wait outside now.
Are you sure? I heard he once battled a dozen legionaries with nothing but a laser rifle and survived.
Actually, I prefer to use a tri-beam laser rifle.
Ma'am, I think he's more dangerous than he lets on.
That's fine, because I'm exactly as dangerous as I let on.
Nice.
You can go. I'm Helen Tanner, NCR Rangers.
Name and rank withheld as per Brotherhood protocol when captured by hostile savages.
Didn't ask. The NCR already knows all about you. And we have a proposition. You're a data procurement specialist. Travel the wasteland documenting everything you can.
I do get around.
And you somehow learned the location of Vault 13 and just strolled on in, thinking we wouldn't notice. Illegal prospecting at Vault 13 is a serious offense. My men were ready to drop a mini nuke on you back there.
And yet they're waiting outside on your orders.
I'm ready to offer you a pardon for all criminal acts committed in NCR territory, and for any war crimes you may have been party to during the NCR Brotherhood War.
That's mighty generous.
That's if you agree to help the NCR recover an item that went missing. We need someone who's been east of Legion territory. We track this item into the Big Empty, and then through New Vegas. Sometime last night it crossed the Colorado River into Legion territory. We think it'll keep heading east until it reaches the coast. Maybe the Commonwealth or the Capital Wasteland. You've been there and back. You help me find it, and we're square.
And if I don't feel like taking a stroll through Legion territory?
Then you'll stand trial for being a Brotherhood spy who infiltrated one of the most well-kept secrets in the Republic, and end up in front of a firing squad. Or I can just empty my Sequoia into your head right now.
You know, they named those revolvers after a kind of tree that used to grow in California. Their trunks were so thick they could stop a highwayman.
My ancestors came out of Vault 15. There's not a damned thing you can tell me about California that I don't already know. Now, you want this deal or not?
I bet the second president of the NCR told me a few things you don't know about your republic.
That's Brahmin shit. I suppose you're gonna tell me you met the Vault Dweller in person next.
Nope. The Vault Dweller disappeared before I was born. President Tandy, on the other hand, she was about 100 years old when I met her, and that was 40 years ago. But she was still sharp enough to tell me all about the Vault Dweller's adventure in Shady Sands.
Every kid in the NCR knows that story. 2161, years before she became president. But she was already a tactical genius when she was just a teenager. She led the Vault Dweller and the Shady Sands militia against the Khans and the other raider tribes. Her leadership and strategy allowed them to clear out the savages and pave the way for the Republic and civilization. Now, quit stalling.
If that's what you believe. What she told me is that she was a naive, bored young girl back then, and she got kidnapped by the Khans. So the Vault Dweller and a man called Ian had come to rescue her.
Wait.
Good old
So
Ian.
you're telling me the greatest political mind of the last 2 centuries was some damsel in distress?
By her own admission. She also used to tip over sleeping Brahmin when she got bored. Once your face is on money, the folk tales you star in take on a life of their own. You want the real history of the wasteland? Find an old-timer who heard the story in their youth. Even First Ranger Seth started as a mere militia chief fighting rad scorpions.
They're fueling my vertibird now. As soon as it's ready, I'm heading to Vegas. With or without you.
The man who founded the new California Republic Rangers, who are quieter than a shadow and more ferocious than a deathclaw, started as a village guard dealing with bugs.
Making me angry isn't going to change the terms of the deal. It's just gonna make me forget about the firing squad, drop a couple of pulse grenades, and settle your hash right here.
You must be real quick if you can do that before I have a chance to counter that move.
Lucky for me, I am that fast. But this isn't the only pulse grenade around here. My men put a few inside that little iBot of yours.
Edna
Oh, no.
has nothing to do with this.
This negotiation goes sour, we fry your iBot's data. Its automated personality matrix, it's...
Her automated personality matrix.
You Brotherhood technophiles. You think of that thing as your pet, don't you?
A friend.
Something like that.
So take the deal, and help us stick it to the Legion. Or we will kill you and your pet hubcap. This item we're tracking has a head start on us. I'm heading out now. Yes or no? Can't fly east of the Hoover Dam without alerting the Legion. But we can take the vertibird to Camp McCarran in Nevada. After that, we travel by land.
I don't take another step until I know Edna is safe.
Yeah.
Rick,
Yeah?
let the flying toaster go.
Yeah, Daddy missed you too, Edna.
Yuck.
Now we can go.
The East Coast is 3,000 miles away.
Yup,
I don't want you yapping the whole way.
understood.
No long-winded stories about the first person who baked fancy lad snack cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Anything comes out of your mouth better be 100% relevant to the mission.
Roger. Although fancy lads aren't actually baked. They congeal at room temperature into a cake-like substance.
Can somebody get a gag on this guy?
I've bumped into more than a few of their billboards in my day. The slogan claims, "A big delight, every bite." And a blue label proudly announces to the world these spongy snack pieces.
Oh,
Wait, we don't get to see what happens?
we don't get. I guess it's for next time. And you didn't say the line. That's a story for another day. I thought he was gonna. How is he gonna fit that in?
Yeah.
I was curious about that. But wow, that's the first episode he hasn't done that. But I am enjoying the story that they're telling, and yeah, like I said, like I felt like last episode things were gonna change, and I was not disappointed for this one.
I really like the exchange between these two characters in
Yeah.
particular. Like, even though she's threatening Edna, which of course doesn't sit well with me, I get the impression that she is smart, that there is a goal
Yeah.
here for her people, that there is something larger at play than just her being like an asshole.
Mhm.
Her with the storyteller, the chemistry there, and sort of like the back and forth and even the exchange of information and whatnot is really interesting to watch, which I think is one of the reasons why I was so disappointed when it ended.
And I mean, you can tell she's not just like a mindless soldier, because I mean, all the other soldiers and the Rangers wanted to kill him right away, and but she knew his worth, and that he could help her out, and willing to pardon him of all his whatever war crimes and other deeds that he had done. Gotta give her props for that. But at the same time, she is she's not gonna take shit from anybody. Not gonna mess around. Like, I'm not going to give you, 24 hours to think about it. It's like, you got to, like, it's now or never. I'm leaving now. Make your decision. And so because the Brotherhood being basically one of the enemies of the NCR, to be able to see the Storyteller as more than just someone with the Brotherhood is a good thing, and probably rare in this world.
I mean, women have to fight twice as hard for a seat at the table now. I can't imagine in a post-apocalyptic world. So for her to be where she's at, and for everyone around her to respect her, she's earned that. Whatever she has done something that has earned all of that respect.
True.
Which makes her possibly a worthy adversary, but hopefully she could become a really powerful ally.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. I also think, so the first season of Fallout was very, we are in the apocalypse. Like the way that the credits rolled and everything. I mean, they really set that tone. Like, the world has ended.
Mm-hmm.
This one has always felt very Western. I mean, the font in the everything feels Western. The opening credits with the gunshot and the bullet, like everything has had this real Western vibe. But for some reason, this is the episode I'm like, ooh, I feel that now. Like, this is the one that has made me go like, yes, we are in a Western, and here are the two who could come to a showdown, might not. But there was just something about this episode in particular that really set that feeling.
Yeah, season one was very much documentary style, just narration and whatnot. And then season two gave it a little bit more flair and flavor with the storyteller and some good jokes and whatnot. And especially keep going back to the Nuka-Cola episode with that kid. And now it's becoming a show. And so, just really excited to see more of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want early free access to our Fallout reactions, we have a link to our Patreon down below in the description of this video. We're about a month ahead. And we also have a playlist for all of our Fallout reactions here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Fallout Storyteller series, season 3, episode 3 and 4. But just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.